Alarm fatigue can be a significant problem when working with ECDIS, and it really comes down to using the appropriate guard zone, look ahead, safety contour settings, so that if the vessel is on track, you don't get an alarm. I see a lot of alarms being set off during pilotage, where with alterations of course and too long a guard zone, looking too far ahead, the alarm is going off all the time, and consequently it becomes ignored. People start accepting the alarm without actually looking to see what it is, because they know what it's going to be, and 99 times out of 100 that's what it will be. But the 100th time it could be something unrelated and an accident result. So in the passage planning stage, these settings, the safety contour, look ahead and so on, need to be planned out in advance so that the officer of the watch can change them quickly and easily to what's appropriate at each waypoint, and sometimes between waypoints, so to minimise the excessive alarms that often occur. When docking, the alarms can be excessive, and in those cases, in those situations, people will often switch to docking mode or silent mode, which is still kind of frowned upon, but it is a practical solution, as once you're close to the berth, you're not nearly so reliant on the ECDIS to stop you from hitting something. You're relying very much more on what you see out of the window. As far as handling potential ECDIS failure during a voyage is concerned, it's all about practice. So running drills on a regular basis, and ideally simulated, so you would unplug the GPS antenna on GPS 1 and then do the same on GPS 2 and observe how all of the bridge equipment reacts, because it won't just be the ECDIS that kicks off. The radar will go into alarm, all of the GMDSS equipment goes into alarm, probably the gyro, sometimes the echo sounder, and so on and so forth. I wouldn't do that when you've got the boss on board, because it might affect the SATCOMs as well. So lots of things are going to go into alarm. Some things will stop working which you weren't expecting to stop working. And familiarising all of the bridge team with what will happen when you lose a GPS signal is going to make life a whole lot easier if it happens for real. It's something we do regularly during bridge refresher training, and it's very, very interesting seeing how the different bridge teams react. Some people will go into a panic even though it's a drill and we know that we're in safe water. Obviously you wouldn't do it unless it was going to be a safe drill to go through at that time. Some people do it. I used to work with tankers where they'd go into the Black Sea to Novorossiysk and they'd lose GPS about 20 miles offshore as a matter of routine. So for them it was bread and butter, absolutely not a problem. But for others, they've not seen it before, and it's a really, really useful exercise to conduct. Well, the common errors when using ECDIS, I would say, are it's got to be over-reliance. People do focus very much on the ECDIS screen and neglect the other sources of information, such as the radar, echo sounder. Also, I see a lot of guys relying on AIS overlay data on the ECDIS screen for collision avoidance, which is far from ideal, as it does depend on the information broadcast by the target vessel. And we don't know what his gyro error is, we don't know how accurate his log is, and so on. So we need to try and cut that out and revert to using the ARPA or visual bearings for collision avoidance. And inappropriate use of the safety contour, safety settings, guard zone and so on is still quite common. I still go on ships where the guard zone is set to 0, because then they don't get any alarms at all, and that isn't what ECDIS is about.